Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing, and we back at it. Back at it with another boxing video. And guess what, people? Guess what, ladies and gents? Boxing heads and fight fans around the world. June 9th, boxing's back, and it's about time. Boxing will be back. And top rank ESPN are going to showcase their up and coming star, one of the best young talents in boxing right about now. That's Shakur Stevenson. What is he? A W? What kind of champion is he? Is he? Excuse me. I think he's a WBO champ. WBO champ at 140. Excuse me, at 126 pounds at featherweight. Shakur Stevenson is going to be facing a guy from Puerto Rico by the name of Felix Caraballo. Felix Caraballo. I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all. I don't know nothing about Felix Caraballo. I went on YouTube, looked him up, looked at a couple of his fights, the few fights that he does have. Really only one. You know what I'm saying? He does have some highlight reels on YouTube, and I did my due diligence to see what this guy got to bring to the table. You know what I mean? He looks like a guy who's gonna try to pump that jab. You know what I'm saying? Snap the right hook behind it or a straight right hand. You know what I mean? A guy who likes to throw hooks, uppercuts, and whatnot. So we shall see what he brings to the table. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. This young dude he fighting in Shakur Stevenson is gonna have the age advantage of about 9 to 10 years. You know what I mean? Caraballo's about 31 years old. The man Shakur Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken, is about 21, maybe 22. He's probably 22 now. You know what I'm saying? Um, Shakur Stevenson is a defensive maestro. That's one thing for sure. Two things for certain. You know what I mean? Don't matter whether the guy has a longer reach as a taller guy. He's a master of distance and dictating the pace, and he's gonna keep the man. What's his name? Caraballo at a safe distance where he can't tag him with that jab. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He's going to be making a real difficult fight for Caraballo from what I see. You know what I mean? Caraballo is what, 13-1? About 9 KOs as opposed to Shakur Stevenson, who's 13-0 with only 7 KOs. But you can't hit what you can't see. And I think that's what's going to be the MO for this fight. You know what I mean? I think Caraballo is going to be the aggressive fighter. He's going to try to apply pressure. You know what I mean? He does have some nice tactics. Straight left jab to the stomach, straight right hand over the top. You know what I mean? That looks like one of his bread and butter moves right there. To be honest, jab to the stomach and an overhand right or a right hand over the top, while the guy's concentrating on protecting his solar plexus from the straight right hands. You know what I mean? But Shakur Stevenson is going to be too witty for that. First and foremost, I think he's going to be even out of range. If the guy Caraballo does go ahead and try to throw that straight right hand jab, I'm sorry, straight left hand jab to the gut, I think I could see the man Shakur Stevenson sidestepping it, taking a step backwards, and if the guy overextends himself too much, I could see a straight right hand going straight down, not over the top, but a straight right hand by Shakur Stevenson to counter the missed jab. You know what I mean? And I think the footwork, Shakur Stevenson's footwork, is it's going to be too much for Caraballo. You know what I mean? I think Caraballo is a guy. He'll keep his high guard. He does throw the jab with authority. You know what I mean? That's one of his best attributes. Excuse me. But I think with all that leverage, he's going to be predictably leaving himself open for counter shots as well. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the man Shakur Stevenson will be going for the KO, but I could see a similar performance to how he handled his business versus Joet Gonzalez, his future brother-in-law, who hates him. You know what I mean? He hates him because of the same thing that the man Greg Lloyd went through, or George Floyd, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? That's why the guy don't like him. But that's neither here nor there. The man Felix, I'm sorry, Shakur Stevenson handled his business and embarrassed his future brother-in-law. Really and truly, I thought that the man Shakur Stevenson even took his foot off the pedal, took his foot off the gas, and let his future brother-in-law live. Didn't want to embarrass him any further in front of his mom, not mom, excuse me, his future wife, and his future pops-in-law. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That guy had a longer reach than the man Shakur Stevenson, and look how the man Shakur Stevenson evaded his jab. You know what I'm saying? The guy had a much longer reach, and he barely hit the man. I think he threw well over 100 jabs and only landed four. You know, that was a complete boxing lesson. And I think this is a tune-up fight, a good tune-up fight. Could be somewhat dangerous for Shakur Stevenson going into this fight with Felix Caraballo, you know. But I think it's a tune-up fight nonetheless. And Caraballo will take his second loss of his career. I think that the man Shakur Stevenson continues on with his win streak and continues to ascend in boxing. Ironically, the man who beat Shakur Stevenson in the 2016 Olympics, Robert Ramirez, two-time gold medalist in the Olympics 2016 and 2012, will be on the undercard. He's going to be fighting on the undercard of Shakur Stevenson, a guy who beat Shakur Stevenson. I personally thought Shakur Stevenson won that fight, but that's neither here nor there. Now they pros. And, you know, it's due to the fact, obviously, Robert Ramirez lost in his pro debut. You know what I'm saying? He lost in his pro debut. He got to make adjustments. He got to adapt to the pro style and leave all that amateur boxing stuff. Leave that stuff in Cuba. You know what I mean? You're not in there with the big boys. And you should look yourself in the mirror, Robert Ramirez. I do think that he does have. I think he does have a bright future if he can tighten up his game. You know what I mean? But Shakur Stevenson's leading the pack from that 2016 Olympic class, and I think he'll get it done via unanimous decision, wide versus Felix Caraballo. B Marsh Boxing League, your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about this fight coming up. Looking forward to having boxing back. Ironically, the very first fight that got canceled in America, at least due to this COVID 19 pandemic, was Shakur Stevenson versus Mariaga. You know the Mariaga guy who fought Nicholas Walters and also fought the guy that Lomachenko brought up in weight coming off a loss. Mariaga. That's the same guy, you know what I mean? His first name's escaping me right now. But that was the first fight that was supposed to happen in March. Ironically, it gets canceled. But gotta big up to Bob Arum. Bob Arum's bringing boxing back. He's been one of the few promoters in the United States who's been adamant on trying to bring boxing back, even if it's behind closed doors, even if fighters have to take a pay cut. He's been keeping it tall, keeping it real. And I gotta give Bob Arum a lot of credit for finally speaking some kind of truth, you know what I mean? So his star pupil or one of his stars on the top rank is going to be fighting with Coach K in his corner, and I'm looking forward to it. So, B Marsh Boxing, boxing is back. Leave your thoughts and comments. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content, and if you are new to the channel, please share and subscribe. Thanks for listening. I'm gone. Peace.